Now to a story you'll see only on 8, a look back at the life of one of Virginia's unknown heroes.
It's a minister who died in action representing the Commonwealth and serving his country. A.J. Lagoe reports.
Chaplain Bob Patton is about to say goodbye to his chapel at Fort Pickett, just outside Blackstone, Virginia.
Every soldier deserves a chapel.
He's just days from shipping out for Iraq.
Regardless of your faith, regardless of what you believe or don't believe, every soldier deserves a place to come and to sit down that's quiet.
With his deployment looming, Chaplain Patton, along with Post Commander Tom Wilkinson.
This is one of our guys. This is a guy who served in our unit back in 1917, 1918.
Helped spearhead the dedication of the Fort Pickett Chapel to another Virginia National Guard chaplain who headed off to war in service of country.
We've dedicated it to Chaplain Bula, who gave the ultimate sacrifice for his state and for the nation.
The year was 1911. The place, Emporia, Virginia.
It was a very important part of history of this church.
Shortly after graduating from seminary, Reverend Thomas Bula, a North Carolina native, became the pastor of First Presbyterian Church on Main Street in downtown.
He's remembered mostly for his kindness and his dedication to people in the community.
Reverend Bula volunteered to also become Chaplain Bula in the Virginia National Guard. It wasn't long before the world went to war in what was supposed to be the war to end all wars. Bula would not come home.
I went back as far as the Civil War, and he's the only Virginia National Guard chaplain to be killed in action since at least the end of the Civil War.
It's not that he died, it's how he died that sets this chaplain apart.
Chaplain Bula he was in the trenches with the soldiers in the Meuse-Argonne. They went out and recovered wounded soldiers. They went out with the litter bearers, and that was something that chaplains didn't do. But he went out and got his soldiers that were wounded and brought them back to their aid stations. And that's where he was mortally wounded at.
None of the records indicated he's ever received any recognition for what he did.
John Listman, Fort Pickett's historian, likens Chaplain Bula's actions to those of the much more famous Father Duffy, a priest and chaplain who was highly decorated and even had the movie The Fighting 69th made, highlighting his service.
Who's there? Ah, relax now, Jerry. That's only Father Duffy making his parish rounds.
Father Duffy actually went and was doing the exact same thing Bula was doing. He was going out into no man's land behind the assaulting troops and helping the wounded to the rear. He got a Distinguished Service Cross for what he did.
While Bula received no medals, he's not exactly forgotten, at least in Emporia.
He's remembered firstly by this beautiful stained glass window, which was dedicated in 1923.
There's also a historical marker outside the church, but this chapel dedication is the first time the military has recognized his valor.
My desire is for the legacy that Chaplain Bula left us to not be lost in time.
Because for this man of faith, also shipping off to a war zone, what Chaplain Bula stands for stands the test of time.
He got up and he went in there looking for his soldiers. And that epitomizes to me, that defines, the chaplain's role. That the soldiers,
That's something that's obviously very important to you.
Yes, it is.
Plans to award Chaplain Bula a long overdue posthumous medal are also in the works. A.J. Lagoe, 8 News.